When I first started my YouTube channel, I just had an iPhone, and I'm gonna be honest, my videos looked terrible, which had a negative impact on the views that I could get per video. And I had convinced myself that because the gear I was using wasn't so great, I would never be able to see success on YouTube without buying a crazy expensive camera. When in reality, that just wasn't the case. It was simply my lack of knowledge on how to create good looking video. So to help you gain that knowledge, in this video, I'm gonna be covering the 4 simple steps it takes to create high quality YouTube videos simply using your iPhone. And this way you're not able to use gear as an excuse anymore, and you can just go into making the best videos you possibly can. Alright, so the first step is setting yourself up by a window. We'll talk a bit more about how to use that window for lighting later. Then once you've found a room with a window and a relatively clean background, make sure to clean up any extra clutter that could be found in the background. Finally, make sure the lines in your frame are straight and your phone isn't on a tilt. And the best way to accomplish that is just getting a super cheap tripod on Amazon and setting your phone on that. So now your framing should be looking good, and it's time to get into step 2, which is lighting. So for this step, I'm just going to assume that you don't have any super expensive lighting equipment that you can use to light yourself. So the reason we placed ourselves right next to a window is so that we can use it to light our faces. And to get the nicest looking lighting, there are 2 options that I recommend. Option A is sitting right beside a window, which creates a more dramatic and cinematic lighting effect. And option B would literally just be sitting in front of the window, which will be the most flattering and balanced lighting on your face. Basically, just choose the option that matches the purpose of your video the best. And just a bonus tip for window lighting is you either shoot while it's cloudy outside or it's golden hour, because lighting in direct sunlight will be too harsh. But if you have to shoot during this harsh direct sunlight, I would recommend at a minimum trying to close any curtains you have on that window or any blinds to help soften the light a little bit more. After you've determined your main light source, which in this case should be your window, to add even more visual appeal to your shot, I like to add what is called practical light, which is basically when you add lights in the background of your scene, like you can see right here. So that could be anything from an LED to a lamp. So now you should be very well lit, and on to the 3rd step, which is the most underrated one in my opinion, and it is audio. I'm gonna be honest with you, if your audio is bad, nobody's gonna want to watch your video. Some people actually say that the quality of your audio is more important than the quality of your video, and because of that, it's very important that you take your audio seriously. But the problem is your phone's microphone probably isn't very crisp. Because of that, I would highly recommend buying a cheap lav mic, which is a mic that you attach to your shirt, like this one from Sony here, which is about $30 American and will deliver you much higher quality audio for pretty cheap. Just keep in mind, if you have an iPhone, then you'll need an adapter. And you might even want an extension cord, because the cord that comes with the mic is only about 1 meter long. But if you really don't have the money to afford that microphone right now, and you need to record audio on your phone, just make sure you're at a maximum of an arm's length away from your phone so it picks up your voice relatively well. And then after that, you can use Adobe's free voice enhancer tool to automatically make your audio sound that much better. That's okay to do for your first few videos, but if you really want to take your YouTube channel seriously, I would highly recommend saving the $30 for this mic. Alright, so we've done framing, lighting, and audio, and we're ready to move on to step number 4, which is actually filming. So first, you want to sit at least a few meters away from the background behind you, which is going to add a little bit more depth to your image, making it a lot more visually appealing. A helpful tool for framing your shots is the grid line that you should be able to enable in your phone settings. And by looking at that, you should set your eyes to the top horizontal line of the grid to frame your shot correctly. And a little tip for framing yourself, if you don't have any external monitor you can actually just use a little mirror and look at your screen through it so that you can easily set yourself up without having to do too much trial and error. But if you don't have the mirror, just literally record yourself once, make sure that the frame looks good, and if it does, you're good to go, and if not, you can make any adjustments needed. A surprisingly common mistake that I've certainly made that really affects the quality of your image is not cleaning your phone's lens. So grab a microfiber cloth or something soft and clean them. And make sure that you're recording with your phone's back lenses rather than the front one, because they will give you a much higher quality looking video. Alright, so as a nice final touch, if your phone has it, turn on cinematic mode, which will digitally blur the background, which replicates the blur that more expensive cameras are able to make, which will help the viewer focus more on you. A common question is, what video settings should I actually be recording on? And my answer for that is shoot at 4K at 24 frames per second if you can on your phone. But if you don't have access to that on your phone, or you don't want to deal with the large file sizes, just record at 1080 at ideally 24 frames, but I know a lot of phones can only shoot at 30, which will be fine as well. If you're only able to record with your phone, it can actually be used as an advantage because using your phone gives the viewer a very authentic experience. So try to take advantage of that as much as possible. Alright, so hopefully now you have a very solid setup for recording your YouTube videos. Of course, upgrading your gear in the future will be an important step for you to make to enhance the quality of your videos. But by implementing the steps taught in this video, you should hopefully not be able to make the excuse of not having the right gear anymore and just get to creating. Thank you so much for watching.